Wait for it. Wait for it. And we're live. Hey, all you crazy sci-fi and fantasy fans. It's time for your daily dose of shenanigans over here at the Blasters and Blades podcast. Geeking out over our see, this is what happened. I was trying to do it from memory because my computer had just glitched on my Word, stinking wanting to update Microsoft. I hate you sometimes. And then the minute I said, hey, I'm doing it from memory, my mind went blank because that's just how we roll. All right, we're going to try again. Round 2. Cut, because I'm too lazy to edit. Hey, all you crazy sci-fi and fantasy fans. It's time for your daily dose of shenanigans over here at the Blasters and Blades podcast. Just a couple of nerdy veterans, a Stabby chaos coordinator, one chief shenanigator, geeking out over our science fiction passions and fantastical fantasies. A place where magic is king, the sky is the limit, and space is the place. We are the podcast that puts the fun in dysfunction. And without further ado, we're going to introduce our guests for this topic about the role of horror in the holiday Christmas setting. But first, we're going to start with Mr. Keith Hedger.
Hi, I'm Keith Hedger. I write military science fiction, cyberpunk, and dystopian stories, including one Christmas story with Santa Claus in it that was... JR's read it. It's good.
The Sleigh Bells Ring anthology is the sponsor, so you'll hear the commercial for it in a little bit.
Winning.
It's good. Next, he also likes long walks on the beach, decaf coffee, and am I missing anything?
Let's see, whiskey.
Yeah. I'm joking about the decaf coffee, people. If he ever drinks decaf, he's actually like blinking Morse code and asking for help.
I am flagging somebody to get law enforcement or military or somebody
right.
to come rescue me. Something bad happened.
If most people don't speak Morse code anymore, like blinking the SOS would do nothing. So that's what the decaf is for. So they know it's a critical emergency.
And the people around me know I don't drink decaf. So
you used to say you could fly your flag upside down for that too, but that's become so commonly used by every little weirdo for every weird grievance that it's not even significant anymore. Like, what? They put a toll road? Let me fly my flag. I was like, no, save it for important stuff.
Yeah.
We had a local guy do that when they put a toll road out, and I'm like, come on. Can you at least save it for the big stuff? Because then it has
something more halfway. It's a toll road. Come on.
I mean, I get it. Taxation is theft. I get it. Like, I'm a libertarian. I get it. But we're not here to talk politics. We're here to talk about the cool stuff. And so, speaking of cool stuff, we're going to let our lovely guest, Miss S.L. Linton, introduce herself to our lovely viewers and listeners at home.
Hi, I'm S.L. Linton. I write, I'm a speculative fiction author, so I write fantasy, sci-fi. I've delved a little bit into cozy urban fantasy recently, but all of my fiction tends to be a little bit on the weird side. And yeah, I didn't have anything prepared. I was too busy laughing at everyone.
It happens.
I do drink decaf on occasion.
Wait, what? Are we allowed to keep her, Stabby? Is that allowed on this podcast?
Yeah. We're allowed to keep whoever we want. That's like the point.
All right. I guess if you want to be nice to people. I mean, she does like Star Wars, and Nick likes Star Wars, so he was really upset he couldn't make it. Yeah, he was really upset he couldn't make this one because this is kind of his jam, horror and stuff, but work kind of wants him to work. It's weird. They pay him to show up, and then they want him to actually show up. So unreasonable.
You would love what he's doing tonight, though.
What's that?
He is in where you yep, I lost the word. It fell right out of my brain. This is why me and JR get along so well. He has to re-up his certification on the taser.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
There are some funny videos because, in order to re-up your certification, you also have to be tased as well as tasing other people. And some of these people, like, they, you expect it to hurt, and then you got other people, like, squealing like they like it, and it's always cringy for everyone around them. Or there's the famous one. It was an army lady, and she's being tased, and the guy's holding her up. Her hands are just crotch level, and she reaches out and squeezes. And all of a sudden, instead of her crying out, the dudes are like, really high-pitched.
Yeah.
I felt for them at that moment. They should have worn a cup. I'm just saying.
Fair.
And,
or held their arms up higher.
Yeah.
Really.
Any of the above.
I hope they learned that lesson and instituted different SOPs going forward. And so the funny one is the ones that whether they like it or not, like will try to creep it out, like, oh, harder or higher next time or something. Like they just mess with the guy doing the taser. Those are always the funny videos, and YouTube is full of them.
I think my favorite one, like there's so many, and Nick knows to send them all to me because I think they're hilarious.
Oh, they are hilarious.
But my favorite ones are when, the criminals are talking mad mess, and then they try to run and they get tased and they look like a salmon.
Yep.
No, the ones I'm talking about are all the training videos, and it's generally the tiniest of the tiny women that'll get like shocked, and then they're like, okay, and
those ones are fun when they accidentally hit the guy holding the person that's supposed to get tased, and you see the guy that's holding her, and he goes down, and she's just standing there like, what just happened? Oh, it's hilarious. I'll find it and send it to you.
I've seen a couple of those, and it's
that's actually pretty funny.
There's going to be a conversation after that one.
Yeah, like aiming is going to be a thing. So
yeah.
Okay. With that out of the way, we are going to talk about the religion questions so we can dive into the topic. And we do make them holiday themed because obviously we're airing this in the Christmas season. But so the religion questions holiday edition, real or artificial tree? Susanna.
I have to go with artificial. I have a soft spot for real trees, but artificial is just better on a practical level. Not all those needles to clean up and stuff.
That's fair. Keith?
I'm going to have to agree. Artificial tree. I bring it up from the basement, get it set up, do all the decorating. When we're done, take it back down, undecorate, take it back down to the basement, done with it.
Yep.
Love a nice real tree, but they take a lot of care and maintenance through the season.
Okay, what about you, Stabby? You like the real or the artificial?
So I used to love the real, and I was a sucker to go pick out a real tree. It was a tradition until the time that there were what my brother thought were acorns in the tree turned out to be spider nests.
Ooh.
Mm.
Oh, mercy.
And I have, and there were hundreds in the tree, hundreds. And I was like, yeah, no, never again. And so it's a fake tree, and it gets shook out really good before it comes into my house. Because I don't even trust the fake tree.
Did any of them hatch, or did you catch it in time?
All of them hatched.
No,
they stayed
burn
in
the
the
house
tree.
down. Burn the house down.
The second I saw something moving in the tree, I was like, what is that? And I got closer. I was like, nope. And I put on my kitchen gloves and I grabbed the edge of the tree and I dragged it right out the back door. And I was like, nope. And then I started spraying everything. Because no spiders. No.
Not having that?
Nope.
I am, I don't really have a preference. I'm more of a bah humbug guy. Holidays are rough anyway. Aside from like the PTSD issue, they tend to bring out the worst in people, so it makes it really hard to enjoy holidays. So I don't know. I'm not really a holiday person, and unless you when you're on tight budgets, it kind of loses some of the allure. And I come from a big family, but they're all spread out all over, so it's not like I'm getting together to seeing the whole Handley clan. So the I don't know, something about the magic of it just died for me. So I don't really get that into it. I get the practicality of the artificial tree though.
We have now what they call a spike tree. I don't know if you've heard what a spike tree is, or you've heard the story of the spike tree.
No.
Spiked or spike?
Spite with a T. Spite.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. I'm in.
So we were under the impression that somebody stole the top portion of the tree. Because there's three pieces. There's the bottom, the middle, and the top. We were under the influence. Somebody stole the top portion of the tree. And we made it vocal how we felt about that. A couple years goes by, we find the top of the tree in the shed.
Oops.
This person has no clue that we found the top of the tree.
They don't need
to
to
this
know.
day. They don't need to know. But now we put up the tree every year, and for the first 2 days, we just stare at the top of the tree and laugh. So it's our spite tree.
Okay.
I can work with that.
JR, where'd you go?
You went
Humility's a
mute.
good,
Kidnapped by
humility's
the
a good
Grunt.
thing. Like you realize you guys kind of jump the gun. You laugh at yourself. That's cool. Who hasn't?
We'll
who
never
hasn't been-
admit. We'll never admit we found it.
But you just admitted it here.
They don't know about this.
Oh,
Okay, fair.
the tens of our listeners.
all 20
If
of them.
they ever do find out, I'll be like, if they ever do find this episode and they're like, hey, so you found the top of the tree, I'm going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I
That
made
is
that up.
reasonable.
I made that up. That was a lie.
It's a podcast. You can't believe anything on those.
I knew
All
we were
right.
going to talk about something.
Because we are polytheistic here on the Blasters Blaze podcast, we're going to ask you more than one holiday question. So, what is the worst Christmas gift you've ever gotten? You want me to go first?
Yeah.
This
Sure.
one? All right. So,
Yeah.
we had, growing up, my mother had exchange students from Brazil who, for whatever reason, thought my name, Justin was Justine. And so she would send female gifts at Christmas. I don't know why. It was a language issue, but I was supposed to just write thank you cards and be gracious about it. And so the worst was the year I got everything pink and girly clothes when I was like young enough that clothes were generally like fit both sexes, before puberty.
Oh,
But I'm getting all this girly stuff that's pink, and all of my female cousins that know the story and my sisters are there like giving me no end of crap about it. Of course, my little sister knows the truth. She's going to steal all the pink stuff when we get home. So it's her present, so she's
Yeah.
getting twice as much. But yeah, that was and of course, the last time she sent stuff were socks that were like super thick wool. And those my stepdad and I passed back and forth for almost a decade before my mom made them disappear. I think they're in witness protection. Yeah, they're in witness protection now.
I found a spot in
Okay.
Target over by the book section, and they sell what they call reading socks now. And they're big, thick socks like that.
Oh, nice.
What makes them read
Okay.
socks?
They're thick and
Oh, I
cozy.
have no idea.
No, thick and cozy.
they put a neat name on it, and now people are buying them because it's a trend.
And you could sell them
That's
for
the one
more.
right there.
And
All
now
right.
I am toward the universe over that.
All right. Susanna, worst gift ever.
Oh, this is gonna tap into my childhood trauma. No, I was actually in college at the time. So, one year I come home and I open up my gifts, and it's all, I don't know, is Family Dollar only a thing in the South? Do y'all have Family Dollar?
We have
Yes,
Family
it
I
Dollar.
know Family Dollar.
Okay. All right. It was just Family Dollar junk. It was just random kitschy stuff that wasn't even remotely like anything I would want. And I'm sitting on the floor opening gifts, and I don't know. I'm not very good at faking gratitude. I wasn't at the time. I hope I'm better now. And so my face just falls. I'm like, what is this? And my mother is cuddled up with my brother on the couch. And he's opening up presents, and it's all new jeans. It's, new clothes and all of that. And she's kissing on him and rubbing the top of his head. And I'm just sitting on the floor with Family Dollar crap. And I'm like,
wow.
you don't love me anymore. So that was the worst gift I can recollect ever receiving. And then my mom was mad because I didn't say thank you fast enough, and she went into her room and pouted for the rest of the day.
But Family Dollar, if you want to sponsor us, we will tell you how great your shit is. Don't die, Susanna. Don't die.
That was
You had
brilliant.
to wait for me to have tea in my mouth before doing that. Excellent.
All right. What about you, Keith?
Wasn't so much as a gift as twice I got woke up to end up pulling CQ because somebody either didn't show up or had to leave on Christmas Eve. And in Hungary, I think it was Hungary, Christmas Eve is when they decided we were going to shift to a 24-hour schedule, and I got night shift.
fun.
So the army was just like, you, Christmas, these are things that you're going to learn to hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I spent Christmas and Thanksgiving of 2004 and 2005 in Iraq, so I feel your pain.
Yeah. I've spent a lot of holidays in weird places. It's just like, how did this even happen?
Now, I do have standards, though. Now, going forward, I don't mind traveling on holidays. I just want to go places they don't want to shoot me on sight. That's my standard now. I've lowered the bar.
That is a reasonable standard.
Yeah.
I like it.
Don't go to LA.
Or Chicago.
Chicago.
Portland.
Yeah, there's lots of places in the U.S. too. But, all right. Stabby, worst gift ever.
Okay. Susanna had to tell her family trauma, so let's just trauma dump tonight. I grew up with 6 brothers, as most people know. So I was very much a tomboy growing up. I wanted the video games and the G.I. Joes and whatnot. And when I was coming into my womanly shape, my grandmother decided that was the year I needed the lady stuff, the girl stuff. And as I was opening my presents, I had about 4 of them in front of me. The first one was a 2XL sweater, even though I was a size small at that point in time. She said because I was still too big. And then the second present was pots and pans, because a woman should know how to cook for her man, to keep a man. And then the third present was a set of knives that match the pot and pans, because a woman needs to be able to cook for her man. And the last present was a full makeup set, because I need to wake up an hour before my man, do my makeup, and not wash it off until an hour after he's asleep.
How old were you?
I was 16.
I mean, if the pots
I'm
and
kinda
pans are cast
traumatized.
iron and quality, I would happily accept that as a gift.
They were
Not
pink
at 16.
Farberware. They were pink Farberware. Yeah. I
Pink.
remember sitting there, pink. Yeah, pink. And so I just sat there staring at them. Thanks, Grandma.
I was a what do you say? How do I say this? I was a character witness for one of my friends when he got divorced, because they tried to use his PTSD as proof he was an unfit father. So of course I have to go and be like, no, stand up, dude, whatever. And in the case before him, because you're sitting in the gallery or whatever waiting, they were fighting harder for their cast irons than they were for the kids or the pets.
Oh, I would fight Nick for my cast iron.
They were fighting for the cast iron skillet and the cast iron Dutch oven harder than they were fighting for who got custody of the kids and the dog.
We have 3 cast irons.
Wow.
I came with 2. I tell him all the time, if anything happens and we split, my 2 cast irons go with me. You don't get them.
That's
So
not negotiable.
weigh in, dear listener. Cast iron skillets and such worth fighting for, or the kids. Name your priorities.
A friend of mine,
Susanna-
when her parents got divorced,
Right.
yeah, they fought longer over the gun collection than they did over the kids in custody.
Oh my
See, that's valid.
That's like,
You can have
that's
more
gotta
kids.
hurt.
You can't.
It's not cool when your kids are in the courtroom.
I mean,
They're
so
watching this.
First time I went camping with my stepdad, and I was kind of nervous because we were supposed to go hunting. I'm like, there's no like bears in these woods, are there? And he goes, JR, if there are, and it's a choice between your life and the coffee pot, save the coffee pot. We can make more kids. And that's where I knew my role in the family. And, so I passed that wisdom on. You can't replace some of those guns. They just don't make them anymore. You can make more kids. I'm just saying the recipe for those still exists.
I can't make any more kids, so I have to choose the kid.
I mean, you can borrow someone else's Dutch oven, and okay, we're just gonna move on. This analogy is getting weird, and I've already
It's not getting better.
I've already been reading some weird stuff about cloning that's going on for keeping the science trends.
I made it to 16. I'm not doing the toddler years again. It's not happening.
So, like, adopt them at 18 when they're on a full ride scholarship to like the Ivy Leagues. You'd be like, my kid's going to Harvard. After the full ride scholarship, though, so you don't have to pay for anything. All right. So, Keith, what is your go-to Christmas party dish?
Oh, I'm going to Hy-Vee and getting the sugar cookies. They're amazing.
Okay.
They are delicious. So,
Susanna?
I can't remember the last time I went to a Christmas party, so I don't have an answer to this.
Are you a bah humbug friend?
No, I just don't get invited to parties.
What? Shocker. Why would nobody invite you to parties?
Because I have a very tiny social circle, and it includes people who don't like doing parties. We're all, hermits. I have a D&D group that meets every Friday night, and I'm shocked that we've gone on as long as we have. That'll probably be the closest thing I'll have to a Christmas party this year is our gathering. And I'll probably make Christmas cookies, honestly.
There you go. Christmas cookies. Okay.
I have a Hungarian honey Christmas cookie recipe that's amazing. And my husband really likes this German cookie called Peppernoten that I make that he really likes. So.
Okay. All right. What about you, Stabby?
First and foremost, Susanna, you can come to our Christmas party. All we do is eat and read and play video games.
Nice.
Like 90% of the time, I'm in a book. I'm just saying.
That's
and then occasionally Die Hard gets put on the TV while we eat. But other than that, like that's our version of a party.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I will die on that hill.
So will I.
People died in Nakatomi Tower for that.
I just found a one of those advent calendars, and he slowly comes down the building on each day. I'm just saying. As for what I bring to a Christmas party, we do have one Christmas party that I have to leave the house for every year. It's nothing but law enforcement, so I show up with whiskey and wine.
Okay. So when we go to
wait, that was an option?
When we go to family gatherings, they ask me to bring my green bean casserole or my sweet potato casserole. Those are the two dishes I generally bring because they're easy. And I have not mastered the art of baking, so desserts are just, shy of like the Betty Crocker dessert mixes that you just add an egg and some water and throw it in the oven. I'm told that doesn't count though. And I still
J.R. Handley, you have my great-grandmother's cookbook.
That doesn't mean I've gotten good at it yet. I've been trying. I burnt a few things.
Follow the instructions.
Okay, if I followed instructions better, I would have made staff sergeant. I did not. I ended as E5 after 8.5 years because I had a mouth in opinions. All right, I'm just saying, stuff happens. All right, so that's your favorite. Go ahead, Suzanne.
Sorry. I was say, to be fair, those great grandmother recipe books, they leave stuff out of the instructions because they assume the person cooking has the background knowledge to fill in the gaps.
Ask JR what's written in every single recipe in there.
Hers did. They did. Although we did pass that over. My mom has the cookbook. She's going to be scanning in copies, so we have it in PDF. So I can print a copy. I won't have to worry about damaging. And in return for that, I have to send her a copy of it as a PDF so she can print a copy and preserve the original. Because we also have her World War II canning recipes. Although Jana, a friend of the show who's into canning and stuff as well, has said use the recipes, not the canning times and temperatures, because we've learned more since then. But the ingredients you put in the recipes, that's solid. So we're going to be stealing that one too. So
I'll send you the cookie book.
Okay. So, all right. We've talked about what your favorite thing to bring is because it's easy. Do you have a favorite dish to eat around the holidays? Stabby. Okay. Is everyone like a cookie thing? I'm a pecan pie.
I've got a list of cocktails that work really well.
Okay.
In all fairness,
in the chat, that's one of them.
In all fairness, we all know that I cook everything, and I know Nick sent you all the pictures of Thanksgiving, JR.
They did. Made me hungry.
Because he likes to tease you. But just for Thanksgiving, I made 2 dozen chocolate chip cookies. I made peanut butter chocolate chip cookies. I made double chocolate chip thin make cookies. Like I put Andes mints in them. I made sugar cookies, regular peanut butter cookies, and Tiny Tims. So I'd have to say cookies.
Okay. What about you, Susanna? Do you have a favorite thing to eat around the holidays?
I really, for Christmas in particular, I really love getting those Terry's chocolate oranges. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can find them at Walmart.
Do you get dark chocolate? Do you get dark chocolate or milk chocolate? Because the dark chocolate one is currently sitting next to my bookshelf.
Dark chocolate.
Yes.
Milk is fine in a pinch, but for dark. They also have other fun flavors too. I like the toffee one as well.
I'm keeping Susanna. Period.
Have you seen them? There's a meme floating around talking about the newest what do they call those? Oh crap! It just started in my mind. Where people think the things that happened that didn't were like distorted reality. I'll draw a blank on what
Mandela effect.
The newest Mandela effect are those Danish cookie tins because people don't think they have cookies in them because so many families have them for like storage devices for like sewing kits
Sewing
and
notions and stuff.
Yeah. Instead of actually having cookies in them. So, all right.
I was scrolling TikTok and I saw how those are made. I'll never eat those cookies ever again.
But the tins are good.
I'll keep the tins, but
yeah. So we're going to push this forward. So Keith, you wrap the gifts or just gift bags?
Actually, I prefer to wrap gifts.
Okay.
If I have time, wrapping the gifts is fine.
Susanna?
Gift bags. I'm terrible at wrapping.
Same with me. I'm team gift bag because I'm lazy. Stabby?
I wrap unless it's shaped really weird and then it goes into a gift bag.
Fair.
And when the kids were little, if
fair.
it was shaped weird, it was the Santa gift.
Yeah.
So, because Santa hired us to wrap his presents, dear listener. If your kids are listening,
Yeah.
He would drop them off, and we would wrap them
for him. Yes, because the elf on the shelf communicated with us. All right, moving on.
Snoop on a stoop.
Have you seen the video every year that floats around with Snoop Dogg doing the Night Before Christmas?
No.
I haven't seen this.
I'm going to have to find this, and I will throw this in the show notes for you, dear listener.
So I brought this up, and I didn't even mean to. So Snoop on a stoop actually is a thing. He's the size of an elf on a shelf. And you just have him do Snoop Dogg stuff around the house. And my sister owns him with her kids and her grandkids.
That is brilliant.
It's a Snoop on the stoop. He is currently sitting on top of her Christmas tree.
I was working at a Barnes & Noble when Elf on a Shelf first came out, and everybody who worked there collectively, we all hated that thing. We thought it was the creepiest idea on the planet. We hated it. We did not like it at all.
Yeah.
I refused to do those for my son. I was like, absolutely not. It's not happening. No, absolutely not.
All right, so I found for the Snoop Dogg one, but it's Tumblr, and it's coming up that Tumblr has malware. I didn't even know Tumblr was still around, but if you look for it, it's listed as "'Twas the Nizzle before Chris Mizzle." Because it's Snoop Dogg. Of course it does. I'll see if I can find it on YouTube or somewhere where it won't drive your YouTube or your malware stuff nuts. But okay, so we are civilized human beings here at the Blasting and Blaze podcast. We are no longer knuckle dragging troglodytes. So coffee or tea, and how do you drink it this holiday season? Susanna?
Coffee or tea, depends on my mood. I really like doing peppermint mochas around this time of year, and I have a little, I call it like a poor college student mocha, where you take a hot chocolate packet and you put it in the bottom of your coffee cup, and then you put coffee on top of that, and then add your milk of choice. Nice. If it's like a peppermint hot chocolate mix, that's really good.
I mean, I'm not a poor college student, but I get the frugality of it, and I approve. So, all right,
Sounds like
Keith.
fun. Okay, coffee black. However, the closer I get to a very large Christmas gathering, the more likely there is something adult in that coffee.
That's valid. Stabby, what are you drinking? I know it's going to be something weird.
What do you mean weird? What was weird last year?
I don't know. It's a segue. Just go with it.
Okay, first and foremost, I have stopped using coffee creamers. I do half and half or milk, and I am down 25 pounds. So I'm very proud of that.
Whoop,
So there
nice.
will be no special flavorings in my coffee, and I like a dark cup of coffee, and I love coffee brand coffee, but it doesn't come out dark enough for me. So what I've been doing is mixing my coffee brand coffee with my Folgers before I brew it.
Ooh.
And
Which
so I get
Folgers?
flavored coffee. I use the classic roast.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
do classic roast, and then I have different flavors of coffee brand coffee. So right now I had just finished all my pumpkin spice. So I have maple cream that I mix with my Folgers, and I have butterscotch toffee. So it's all pre-flavored coffee, so it's just flavored how it comes out, and it's so good with a little bit of half and half in it.
What's the name of the brand again?
Coffee brand coffee.
Coffee
They're our
brand coffee.
Yep.
Okay, I thought I was having a stroke. Okay.
Nope. They're
No,
most
I've heard of
excellent sponsors too. All right,
They're one of ours.
so I actually have been cutting calories too. Although I stalled on losing weight, although I've been hitting the gym, so my pants are still getting looser. So I'm imagining some of that's muscle because I'm holding strong on the weight, but I've had to go down 2 sizes in the pants. But I've been doing it because I like the cream in my coffee. So I've been doing 2%. And then I do sugar-free syrups for the flavor instead of the creamer. I asked him, he said that's better for the nutritionist that I meet up with. So that was better for me than the whole in the 1%. And then the heavy cream I could do, but that's just more calories. And so I would have to drink less of it. And so for me, the 2% lets me drink twice as much. And so it's a win.
Valid.
So it's a balancing act. And I go with it. But now, speaking of the Santa story that Keith mentioned earlier, our sponsor is us today, and we're going to play that beautiful commercial for the Sleigh Bells Ring anthology.
Ho, ho! Oh, hell. Is that sleigh bells ringing in your ears or a few rounds from an M60? You wanted the jolly fat man to bring Yuletide joy, but the season has gifted you with a heartbreaker and a life taker. Badass Santa. Grab your eggnog and camouflage candy canes. Strap on your bulletproof holiday stockings and prepare for thrills and kills. From blood-stained rebellion at the North Pole to a Black Ops raid on a distant planet, these 18 action-packed tales will show you Saint Nick as you have never seen him before. It's all you'll want for Christmas.
All right. Thank you for sticking with us through that commercial interlude. And I did find.
I love that. I was going to say, I love that commercial.
That's a good
Yeah.
commercial.
The narrator did an amazing job. Amazing, because I'm working on the podcast. I found on YouTube the Snoop Dogg doing his Christmas rendering. So you guys can check that out, dear listener. With that out of the way, so the topic for today is the role of horror in a Christmas setting. So obviously you have the traditional Krampus, which is what comes to mind. But one, why do you think the link of horror and holidays go together? Before we talk about the individuals examples, why does it even coexist? Holidays, generally speaking, are happy times of family and bonding, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. Why does it
I
work
think
so well?
Why is it even a thing? Why do people mix the two?
Well, it's a holiday in the kind of in the long dark portion of the year where you have the least sunlight, the least amount of time, and part of the reason for a celebration at that is to liven people up and go, we're going to get through this. So you already have a what's scary in the dark thing going on. Christmas or winter festival of some kind would be an alleviation to that. So we're now at a place where we're pretty comfortable come Christmas. So it kind of is fun to go, so what is out there in the dark? Why is Santa Claus got to come? What's going on around here? And it lends itself to, kind of every variety of horror, from psychological to body to slasher stuff to monsters in the dark and the unknown. And then somebody tell me to stop rambling. Or am I doing well?
Okay. The Association of Horror is a long-standing tradition, not only because of things like Krampus and the Yule Lads and the Yule Cat, which the only way to fend off the Yule Cat is to get clothes for Christmas or to have new clothes in the winter. But everybody knows the story of Christmas Carol, right, where the three ghosts come and visit. It wasn't weird for Dickens to have written that story because telling ghost stories during Christmas was traditional. It was a tradition of telling ghost stories. And I think part of it comes from the fact that there was a time, and this time still exists in parts of the world today, where winter was dangerous. You could die if you didn't prepare well enough, like didn't have warm enough clothing or didn't have supplies, or you were breaking the rules of the society and the culture, endangering yourself and others, or you're getting yourself in a situation where you're breaking taboos. So then you end up with like the Wendigo and situations and stuff like that. And so I think that doesn't go away just because we have central heating and air now, and Amazon can drop stuff at our doorstep. That sticks as part of our culture. And I also think that there's something to be said about, when you have light, there's shadow. So there's always that tendency to want to flip something on its head. And I said somewhere once, I didn't understand why there weren't more Thanksgiving horror movies, because it's sort of getting a bunch of extended family into one location. It sort of lends itself to horror. You already have the setup. So there's that.
Yeah.
With it as well.
Yeah.
I might have been. Go ahead.
And when you start looking at the elements of, Christmas, so you've got Santa Claus, you've got his elf helpers, you start digging into some of the real old stuff, like the elves in Norse mythology are not really friendly to humans. In most of that stuff, like the elves are fae, and you really don't want to deal too closely with fae because you're going to have some problems. So all the elements you need for horror are right there. They were, as Susanna put it, it's all traditional. It's all kind of part of the story anyway. And then you look at the various, what was the origin of Santa Claus stuff. There's one version where he was based on a saint in, I think, France, who he didn't really bring gifts to the good kids. He just took the bad kids and turned them into sausage. And you're just like, wait, what?
I did not hear that.
Never heard that story. I
stumbled onto that one a few years ago, and it's just one of those. Wait, what? How? Why? What was going on there that you guys thought you needed to tell your kids that?
That is a new one on me.
Yeah.
I think I was the only one in my family that I found Santa really creepy, actually. The fact that he could see you when you're sleeping, knew when you're awake, or when you were being bad and good, I thought that was creepy.
That's a fun comic on that line.
Oh yeah, he gave me.
Yeah,
he gave me boogeyman vibes when I was growing up.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. But I think the reason that they work so good together is because when you think about Christmas, it's this joyful occasion. It's snow and family and everything that looks crisp and beautiful. And when you take that and you flip it on its head and you see absolutely the worst case scenario of how that wonderful magical thing can become the most horrible thing, I think that makes it even worse. And then I think visually, we're talking horror here. So that beautiful white, crisp snow blanket that we all think is just the most beautiful thing being splattered with blood is very visually appealing as well. So there's that.
Yeah. It's that counterbalance to all the joy and fun and festivity, and the visuals are there because for most people it's like wintertime, so snow, dark, fire going. If you put these in any other setting outside of a Christmas Christmas family gathering, it's kind of terrifying. This is not a place you really want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole human, so what's crawling around in the dark out there? What's that sound I heard?
What's the clattering on the roof? Why is there a big man in a red suit coming down my chimney?
It is terrifyingly cold out here. Who that I can't see broke that stick? What that I can't see broke that stick?
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a buddy of mine who's a really avid hunter, and there's an area I live near Lake Red Rock, this huge lake in the middle of Iowa, and there's a public hunting land over there. And he was sitting down there near the lake last winter in like January when it's all frozen, and he's like, when you hear that ice crack, you start questioning everything out there. And I'm like,
I can honestly tell you one of the scariest things that I've ever experienced was I was born and raised in Las Vegas. We get snow in the city every like 4 or so years, but we have Mount Charleston, which is where we all go to take our family pictures in the snow. There's a ski lodge and everything up there. I don't think there's a single one of us native Las Vegas people that don't have at least one family photo up at the lodge. And my mom took us up there. It was like right around the first snow. And there's this beautiful part of the canyon where the skiers don't even go over there or anything. It's just pure, perfect, beautiful snow with big pine trees in the background. And we're walking up there, and there is a man dressed as Santa staring into the forest, and he is just standing there all alone. Like there's no one around him. But I think the part that freaked me out, because my mom was like, something feels weird. Let's go up to the lodge and we'll just do our pictures at the lodge. So we start walking back, and I turn around and look again. There's no footprints. I don't know how that Santa got there.
Yeah.
And I remember he was as clear as day. He was as clear as my hand is in front of my face. And I'm still to this day like, how the heck did he get there? Like maybe he came down through the trees and got lost or was waiting for, I have no idea. But to this day, I just remember seeing him standing there staring into the woods. And even my mom, who does not like any of the horror stuff, was like, I think we should go.
This isn't right.
Something's off.
Yeah. Yeah. And because a lot of the elements like Santa's elves, Santa, all the various entities involved in Christmas could do the whole, the uncanny valley effect on people. They're not quite human. You're seeing it and it's not quite what it should be.
Right.
So you just
when
have
it just doesn't look right.
Something just isn't quite right. You'll see that Santa Claus ringing a bell in their donation stand or whatever, but there's something off about that guy.
The bad Santa.
Yeah. Oh, I love that movie.
Me too.
But yeah, you're just like, it's so easy to bring in that horror aspect or that frightening aspect to Christmas, because one, who really expects horror at Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to
think
share
it-
presents and
yeah.
see family and friends.
And I think it got mentioned by someone else that this time of year tends to bring out the worst in some people. So you get the
Yeah.
people who are they're fixated by possessions, and you know they link. My family was kind of like this, where they link presents with Christmas to the point where, you know, saying we're going to have Christmas is the same thing as having presents. Like the words are almost interchangeable. So people get so fixated on that they're hitting the stores maybe when they shouldn't be. They're the ones who are fighting over like the last Barbie doll or what the heck ever trend toy that's going on, but yeah, I think that, you know, there's the tendency to bring out the dark side in people, especially when the stress lands. You got a bunch of people coming over and you got to clean the house and get everything ready, and so you find yourself on a shorter fuse than normal, and all of a sudden that rat poison is weirdly getting closer to the pot. Kind of.
Yeah.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Everybody was so excited, and then it turned into just the absolute biggest mess.
Yeah. And there's the pressure on people to, this is the happiest time of year. We're supposed to be having fun and enjoying. And you're like, well, listen, I still got a day job, and I still got this, and I still got this, and I'm not enjoying this. So maybe horror's a fun outlet for people who are already getting overloaded with it.
Yeah, they can de-stress that way.
You can go look at one of these horror movie on centered around Christmas and go, okay, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one who's had that day.
I worked retail for several big box companies, and I did almost 10 years with the last one I worked for. And the one day you could never request off was Black Friday, like ever.
Yeah.
Didn't matter who you are. Not even the store manager could request that off. And I remember helping set up. We all had Thanksgiving off. We come in at 4 a.m. There's already a line outside waiting for all of us to get inside and get clocked in. And I walk in and I see my store kind of new, you know, like through their eyes. Like how are these people who are going to storm through this door any moment now going to see my store? And I'm like, well, I'm going to stay at the back of the store today because I have no patience for these people. And my boss is like, actually, I need your help up front. I need your help up at the service desk. Please come up front. And I was like, okay. So I'm like heading back to the front, and they open the door before I get to the service desk, which is right next to the front door. And I watch them all start barreling in. There's the $25 Christmas tree, artificial Christmas trees right inside the door. They're all grabbing them and swinging them. I see people getting knocked over, and I'm just standing there like, and my boss is like, come on. And I'm like, where am I supposed to go? If I get any closer, I'm getting knocked out by a tree. I'm not moving.
Do I get body armor for this?
It's like the opening scene to the movie Thanksgiving, that was based off of an actual event.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like. And I like now, like I said before the show started, I work from home now. So like every time Black Friday rolls around, Nick's like, you don't want to. And I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, I don't barely like leaving the house as it is. I'm not going out into that mess. But I will say last year I was shocked because last year there was like an in-store thing only with buy one book, get 3 books for free at Target. And I'm a book nerd. So I was like, you know what? I'll wait until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. All the crazy people will be gone. All the TVs will be gone, but all the crazy people will be gone. And we walk in around 4:30, and there's still TVs everywhere. There's computers everywhere. And I was like,
It's
there's
like
still
that
Xboxes.
It's like that meme says, everybody's got the big screen TV, put them groceries on sale.
Yeah.
That.
And I think people are burnt out over all the consumerism. So I don't think Black Friday is as big a deal as it used to, especially when you can just order it all online.
Right.
But
Yeah.
so
Yeah, and then you get Cyber Monday. So like,
Yeah,
what's
so-
the point?
that is the why of the horror. And I know, my very German grandmother always used to complain about them taking out the very teachable moments that the fairy tales were supposed to have, like in Disneyfying it. She always hated what Disney did to the fairy tales because they were supposed to be, hey, don't touch that hot stove, it will burn your hand and it will melt away and a demon will take your hand. Not oh, your wicked mother is mean because she wants you to sweep the floor. So you end up with, watered down stuff, whereas the original stories were a lot harsher, but the world back then was harsher. Are there any examples of some of those that still remain? Krampus, when you think holiday, always comes to mind. Are there others of those scary kind of spooky holiday?
Well, it has a happy ending, but it's a much older movie. It's a Wonderful Life. It's all psychological horror. The story's about a guy who's thinking about suicide at Christmas time. And
Okay.
it's like, that's dark. That was from 1946. So that's some dark stuff. There's a horror aspect to that as he's working through this whole thing.
The Grinch.
The Grinch. Oh, yeah.
Nobody, like everybody. Yeah, everybody sees him as this who that heart grows three sizes bigger or whatever it is. But he was the villain for like most of it.
Yeah, he was going to steal Christmas because he was miserable.
He wanted everybody to be miserable right along with him.
Yeah,
I mean, he wasn't exactly treated nice, so I'm kind of sympathetic.
Yeah. I didn't say he didn't have good reason.
Isn't him not being treated well was added later in the Jim Carrey live action. It's not. I don't think it's in the original Dr. Seuss story. I think in the original Dr. Seuss, he just hates Christmas and everybody. He wants to steal all that joy away. He doesn't have the elaborate backstory that he's given later.
Well, he did still like his dog, if I remember the original story right.
Max.
And that was like his one redeemable quality was he liked his dog.
He liked his dog, so I can kind of see that.
Fun fact, in 2022, they actually put out a Grinch horror movie called The Mean One, and he is doing the things with an axe. So
he's really mean. Yeah, it's like
okay. So there's the Grinch. There's It's a Wonderful Life and Krampus. Are there others that come to mind?
Oh, I did a real quick web search just because Gremlins from 1984 takes place at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a heck of an analog for elves. And they are definitely a heck of an analog for elves.
Okay.
Mentioning Krampus, and so coming at it from like the folklore side, the Yule cat, which is supposed to be this enormous cat, I believe this is Norwegian.
Yeah.
Who will eat children if they don't have new clothes. That's how you keep the Yule cat away. And he kind of comes as part of a trifecta. There's also I can't remember her name, and even if I did, I don't know if I could pronounce it. It starts with it has too many G's in it. But she's essentially this female ogre type character that likes to eat children. And then she has the Yule Lads, that are her sons, and they're these mischievous creatures that they're not elves, but they're they all kind of come together and make everybody's life absolutely miserable. That's all I can remember about them off the top of my head. Without I should have researched them and refreshed. But that always comes to mind a lot.
When Christmas time rolls around, me and Nick actually have a list that we always hit up. Obviously, Die Hard is on there, Christmas Vacation, but we do Krampus, we do Terrifier 3, we do Jack Frost, the one where the snowman comes to life and he has the the teeth. Black Christmas, and there was another one. I want to say it's a Tales from the Crypt movie, or no, it was a Creep Show anthology, a Christmas special, and they have the were hippo and the werewolf and the were turtle, and it's hilarious because Santa is like, yeah, it's hilarious. A were hippo, but Santa is a mech, essentially.
So you have.
I really like Black Christmas. Black Christmas is a good one.
In addition to the Krampus, you have Berchta, which is also Perchta, Perchta, which is a southern Germany, Austria thing. It's just a witch-like creature with two forms, the beautiful maiden and the hideous crone. Okay. And she goes around checking on the children and servants to see if they were industrious. And the good kids get silver coins in their shoes, and the lazy and disobedient ones get their bellies split open, their guts removed, and stuffed with straw and stones. So that's extreme.
Yeah.
You have Hans Trapp, which is France, Alsace-Lorraine, which is part of Germany. There's been some wars fought over it, Black Forest region. Is a real historical figure, a 15th century knight turned Satanist in legend who dressed as the Scarecrow and accompanies Pete Foutard or Saint Nick. He supposedly ate children and now scares them as punishment. And then, of course, Pete Foutard, northern France, Belgium, was Father Whipper, a butcher who murdered 3 children, was executed, then resurrected by Saint Nick to forever whip naughty kids, and dresses in dark robes, carries a whip or a rod. You got the giant ogre, the Yule Lads, and the Yule Cat you mentioned. The Alps has one, Frau Perchta Perchtin, which I'm butchering, but she's sort of like the witch that we talked about earlier, same crone and maiden that goes around basically butchering those kids that were misbehaving. So again, it's like the original fairy tales where like you do good and good things happen, you do bad and we eat you. Because we don't have time to hold hands here. If you want to eat, you work. There is in Germany, in Wales, there is Mary Lwyd, Lwyd. Don't ask me to pronounce the Welsh people. I'm not even sure it's a real language. I think the Welsh invented this language just to mess with the English, and they don't actually speak this. They just do it when the English are there to mess with them, and it's not
that tracks.
But it's a skeletal skull on a pole, draped in with bottle eyes and a snapping jaw. A group carries this door-to-door singing, challenging households to a Welsh rap battle. You lose, they come in.
The horse is the skeletal horse?
Yes.
I don't remember reading about
but
this.
It ends with a rap battle and drinks all night. I think that's got to be relatively new.
I think it's a good thing to actually invite it into your house because they'll bring good fortune. So if you don't argue with it at your doorstep, but invite it in and everybody drinks cider, it's supposed to be a good thing.
There's Necht Ruprecht, which is, again, I'm butchering the pronunciations, people. St. Nicholas's darker companion dressed in fur or straw, blackened face or mask carrying a sack and rod, and he asks children if they're good, and if not, he beats them and leaves them lumps of coal and dirt. So Krampus, but doesn't kill them.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of versions. Yeah, there's a bunch of versions. Netherlands has one. Zwarte Piet, who I'm probably butchering. Again, beats the kids that were bad, leaves them coal. There's lots of versions of that. Basically, do what you're told or we'll beat you into submission. Seems to be a reoccurring theme. There's Belschnickel, which is Pennsylvania Dutch or German, a fur-clad wild man with a whip or switch who visits before Christmas, throws candy on the floor and forces the kids to scramble for it while he judges their behavior, and the bad kids get whipped with the switch. There's a female Krampus called Stragali from Switzerland. Same general theme. And the Czech Republic and Slovakia has Surt, which is actual devils with horns, chains, and black fur who go with Saint Nick and the angel on December 5th. They rattle chains, threaten to take kids to hell in potato sacks, and sometimes throw naughty children in and drag them away if they don't behave and listen to their mothers. So apparently, listening to the fathers wasn't a worry. I guess the fathers were strong enough to beat them in this mission. But if they didn't listen to their mothers, they will drag them. So all of the horror elements that I'm finding on some Googles and stuff, all of them seem to be tied to listen to your parents or else.
Yeah,
which tracks with all the fairy tales.
Yeah.
Your parents don't want you to die, so listen to them so you don't die.
Right. At a time where, you really needed to listen to your parents because things were a lot more lethal. If your mom says, please, you get in from playing in the cold, you better come in or you're going to freeze to death.
Eat this, not that, because that could be poisonous and this one isn't. Learning to tell that apart. Stay on this track, not that one, because the bobcats hunt on that one. You don't want to be dinner. Like we
hang the mistletoe high because
right. Like I think we've gotten a little bit soft in modernity, and we forgot, and we do continually forget that life at one point in time, not that long ago, was very dangerous, and survival wasn't guaranteed. And so I think that base instinct though is still there, and that's I think why people do like horror. Because it triggers something primal.
Yeah.
It kicks the adrenaline in. You get that jump scare. You get that moment of fight or flight, and that kicks that adrenaline in that most of us don't get in our day-to-day life anymore.
I do think the horror, if you look at its role, which was the topic in the Christmas setting, I do think just in modern zeitgeist, it is a good release valve for people that are high stress because of family. Like, instead of murdering my kids, I'll watch a horror movie where someone else murders theirs, kind of thing. I'm being tongue in cheek, obviously, but
also horror. Horror is a space where we can kind of, I guess, better look at certain themes or how society is structured in a way that you wouldn't in a different medium, or at least provides a new way to look at it. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Okay. So go ahead.
I'm trying to process how I'm trying to say this, or what I'm trying to say, actually. The horror aspect gives you some insight that what you're feeling isn't outside of human nature. Somebody did this movie about Krampus, or about a serial killer at Christmas time, or whatever it was, and you're going, oh, I'm not the only one stressed out and tired of my family. I get it. That's a little much, but it's a healthy outlet.
I can honestly say, because I live up in the mountains in Southern California, in the hills, and if you look out my back door, you see nothing but mountains. When I hear a clatter on the roof of my house, I don't think reindeer. So what does my goofy self do? I put cameras outside because I'm like, I'm going to see what it actually is. When you see it's a mountain lion, you kind of get the urge to be like, okay. And being an insomniac, I'm sitting there reading at 3 a.m. and I hear it and I'm like, not today, Satan. I'm not going outside.
I'm not being your next meal.
I'm like, are all my dogs inside? Did I close the doggy door?
There's a funny video floating around, and I checked to make sure it wasn't AI. This lady was at a bed and breakfast in the mountains of Virginia, and she was somewhere up north because she had a Yankee accent. And she's going around her car, and she's like, "Here, kitty, kitty," and she's being filmed because the security camera is what's released from the house, from the Airbnb. And she's walking up, and then all of a sudden you see a mountain lion, and the owner of the house runs out with a shotgun, shooting it at it. She's getting ready to pet the mountain lion that was about to make her dinner.
Yeah.
So survival instinct is something that still has to be reinforced, and I think that's one of the things horror can provide us.
Yeah.
Because again, we've gotten a little bit soft culturally speaking because we're so protected.
Yeah.
See, I think everybody with kids should just go live in a place where the wild animals do still roam. Because my son, I'm like, hey, I have an Amazon package. And he's like, the sun went down. I'm like, I still have an Amazon package. Go get it. And he's like, what if the mountain lion comes back? I'm like, don't turn your back on it. Like, I know it doesn't come around until about 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, take one of the dogs. We have 2 German Shepherds. Take one of them with you, but go get my package. And he's like, Mom, I'm your kid. And I'm like, get a helmet.
Toughen up, kid.
I
don't want my son to be scared of life. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. My daughter wants me to come down and hunt deer on her property. So she went from living in the city to, hey, come get these. I need deer meat. Come on.
I love it.
Yeah, I grew up.
You know, you could go do that.
I grew up way out in the country where, you know, you had to be a little careful of where you were and what was following you, if anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are plenty of superstitions around too about associated with nighttime and darkness and all that. And to be fair, to be honest, that Amazon package can wait until the morning sunlight for me to go get it. It's fine. You know, there's no one's gonna steal it. It can wait.
If it was like 10:00 at night, I would never send him down. When it's the sun just went down at 6 p.m., I'm like, you can still go get it. It is fine.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, they're just barely waking up. You're fine. But but my grandparents and my great grandparents, they had a cabin in Ogden, Utah. We would go to during summer vacations when there was no snow, and then during winter vacation for Christmas time with the family. We'd all be up here in this mountain. And I have come across raccoons, deer, the occasional mountain lion, puma, whatever you want to call it. The thing that scared me the most is I got a little bit older. I was cup of coffee in one hand, book in the other, needed to get away from my brothers. Like, I just needed a quiet moment. So I was like, I'm going to go out on the patio. I'm going to sit on the swing. I'm going to read my book, drink my coffee, and kind of decompress from all the testosterone inside the house. And I take one step out the door and my bangs went. And I was like, and I brought my face up, and it is a moose. And I don't know if you know how tall these guys are, but they are ridiculous. And he is standing on the patio right in my face. And I'm like, and I took the step back and I slammed the door shut and I was like, nope. And my grandmother and my grandfather look over at me and they're like, we thought you were going to enjoy your coffee out on the patio. And I was like, hey, Grandpa, come here. And he walks over and I pulled the curtain on the window open and he goes, yeah, no, you can have your coffee inside. Mm-hmm. He's just still chilling there on the patio. And I was like, out of all the animals I ever met, he was the scariest thing.
Yeah.
He was the scariest thing I've ever seen. And like I said, I've seen pumas and everything else up there. This moose scared me more than any of those.
It doesn't make sense for them to be so big. Why?
And they can swim.
That's not right. That's the part that's not right, is like, he can cross the river after you. You can't get away.
Yeah, really. You're just like, oh, this is life.
On the other hand, I live in a place where people go. Now. Yeah, I live in Iowa. They go ice fishing once the lakes freeze. And it's just like, if I want to sit around in the cold drinking beer, I got a garage for that. B, you do know there's only so much ice out there, right? And it's not uniformly thick, guys. I want you to think this out.
It's thin in some spots.
But back to horror, it's like, it's one of those, you bring that much, you focus so much on this joy, this family, this festival, this kind of big, happy event. You kind of have to balance. It kind of needs a balance. And horror fills that balance, really. Both from, as we're discussing it, both psychologically and from a fun perspective, it's great. It's fun to see a movie that would be otherwise horrifying in any conditions, Gremlins, could have been set any time of year, but setting it during Christmas just makes it so much more fun.
Oh yeah.
Just because even though there's not a huge Christmas is just a backdrop to the story, it's an impact on it where you're like, that shouldn't be that much. That's wrong. It's just adds to it. It's that whole peanut butter chocolate thing. It's suddenly, hey, this works and I like it.
Okay. With any closing thoughts as we wrap this puppy up? And dear listener, if you want to join us in the comments, what you like about horror and holidays, if you got favorite movies, favorite horror creatures, but any closing thoughts, Keith?
I find it's both intellectually entertaining, intellectually stimulating, and it's fun to watch those Christmas horror things. Or those Christmas don't go right things, since we've gotten kind of broad. But yeah, the horror aspect, bring in Krampus, bring in that fun. Talk about elves and let them be different than the happy, cheerful, joyful elves from the kids' Christmas shows. Let's have some fun with it, and let's enjoy the holiday, and let's let everybody get their laugh in, or their enjoyment in.
Okay. Susanna?
I think one thing that horror during the Christmas time, that what it really can do for us is teaches us to hug a little closer to the light. That there is darkness out there, and there are things in the dark, and we need to hug a little bit closer to the light, stick a little bit closer to the campfire, and appreciate what we have.
Okay. Stabby?
I'm going to go the opposite direction because I'm our resident spooky girl. And I'm going to tell you, if you are looking for an awesome horror movie that's also Christmas themed, A Christmas Horror Story, The Mean One, Black Christmas, Terrifier 3, Jack Frost, Silent Night, Deadly Night. There is so much goodness when it comes to the horror theme with Christmas. There's a list that is amazing, and you can always find something awesome on Tubi.
Oh, love Tubi.
Yeah, their horror section is so good.
Oh, so many great channels on them and Roku.
All right. Susanna, what are you writing at the moment, and how can we follow you online?
You can follow me at theforgottenlibrary.substack.com, where I have a short story coming out every month. For my winter season, I've gone cozy and been telling stories in a little town called Bramble Rest. My next, that's for the winter time. And right now, I'm just working on other short stories and submit them to places. That's kind of just where I'm at. Right now, I haven't tackled any new big projects yet. I can also be followed on X and also Instagram, and all of those links will be in the show notes.
All right, Keith, what are you writing, and how can we stalk you?
You can stalk me at www.keithhedger.com. Easiest place to find me. It's got links to all my stuff. Currently, I'm working on book 5 in the Burning Bad Karma series, and I'm waiting to hear back from my one and only romance story that I submitted to a dueling anthology. Yes, both fit. Bad Karma is not somebody to take off on date night.
That is solid advice.
It is. Right. It is. She is not the one.
All right. Any more stories about your tank that lives?
I've got one as far future. I need to write some more Phoebe stuff because apparently people think that's really a lot of fun. And she's coming back into the Burning Bad Karma series in another book or two.
Okay. All right. And you can find us. Oh, well, hold on. Before we do that, I know we're recording this the beginning of December, Stabby, but we're going to be airing this in the middle of December. But what are you reading, Stabby Stab?
So I'm currently on book number 112 so far this year, and I still have a month to go. So there's that. But also, I have been on here in a little bit, JR. So we haven't told our lovely cast, crew, and fans that Stabby is writing her first book.
Oh, we didn't.
Oh, I'm in.
I am 5 chapters in so far. We have a working title of Escaping into the Mafia, because we always crack the joke that I come from a mafia family, so I figured why not write a mafia romance. So I am 5 chapters into my very first novel.
Well done. Are you having fun?
I'm having a blast.
Okay.
And I make Nick read it, so that also works.
That is, I'm sure he's having the time of his life.
Oh, well, I mean, considering it, it's got both mafia and law enforcement aspects into it. He has a good time correcting me on my weapon systems.
As one does. This is the part, dear listener, where I remind you to please be kind and speak your mind on the reviewing platforms. Your reviews help the right readers find the right books. It really does make a difference. So do your part. And if you want to follow us, dear listener, you can follow us on our Linktree, linktr.ee, Linktree/Blasters and Blades Podcast. Again, Linktree/Blasters and Blades Podcast, where we link to all the things. The BitChute, the Rumble, the YouTube, the TikTok, the Twitter. We've got our Spotify, our Discord, our Blasters and Blades Facebook group and Facebook page. We have our email, Blasters and Blades Podcast @gmail.com. Again, Blasters and Blades Podcast @gmail.com for professional purposes only. People save the shenanigans from Stabby Stab over there on Instagram, Twitter, and the email. You can support the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/. I might have said this part already. But buymeacoffee.com/author J.R. Handley. Be sure to put in the comment section this for the podcast. I promise I will keep my co-hosts duly caffeinated. They will drink that coffee brand coffee until they get high on their own supply. And if you want some of that coffee brand coffee, link is in the show notes. Discount code is podcast grunts. You get 10% off. We get a little bit of a kickback. It's a win-win, people. And with that, thank you for spending some of your precious time with us. For my crazy co-host, I am J.R. Handley, and this was the Blasters and Blades Podcast. We'll be back next week at the same time, where we'll indulge our love of nerd culture, cheesy jokes, and all things that go boom. And with that, we're going to stop recording before Stabby starts stabbing. Wait for it.